look into how to turn our yards into a spooky Halloween scene that all the neighbors are going to stop to check out. With just a few simple supplies, my first guest says you can create a Halloween cemetery complete with realistic tombstones. And we mean realistic. Creative contributor Michelle Crowley is here to teach us how, with gravestones of every shape and size. This belongs in Disneyland. Like, it looks so real and authentic.
It's so fun.
It's so cool.
I am even surprised how cool it turned out.
You're like, I'm happily surprised.
I am. I'm like, I knew it would be cool, but I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
And this is just a basic DIY that you say the average beginner can take on.
Yes, just kind of the right tools.
Did you set out to do the yard installation first?
No, I actually started out with table settings.
Small version.
So these little guys over here.
Yeah.
For a witch's luncheon that we have every year with my girlfriends. And I thought, oh, wouldn't these be so cute as the place cards, you know, and with their names actually in the graves.
Okay, and this was just made of styrofoam, these table settings.
Styrofoam, the packing foam that comes in those boxes that, you know, you throw away and you feel guilty because it's going in there, you know?
Yes.
It's like, you know, not going to disintegrate anytime soon.
Right, right.
This stuff.
Should we start small then and work our way up to the big guy?
Probably.
Is the application the same?
The application is exactly the same, and that's why I brought mini versions to show, because it's exactly the same and it's easier to show on a mini as opposed to the great big.
We're going to get to that,
but they're the same.
Amazing. Okay, so styrofoam and what else?
So styrofoam, I started with templates because I'm not that great of an artist to like hand draw it. So I just got on Etsy and looked up gravestone clip art.
Okay.
And then printed those out and then cut them out. And this cutout actually, it was kind of just this happy little surprise because I didn't realize it was going to happen. We're going to turn this on. Okay, be careful. This is hot.
Okay, what is that?
This is the tool, and it's a little $30 tool that is the best.
Okay.
When I've done this in the past, I've used a knife or like a regular serrated knife or an electric knife.
Or a Thanksgiving turkey carver.
Right, but you know how like the styrofoam balls up?
Yes, and gets everywhere.
This is a hot knife.
Oh.
And so it melts the styrofoam as you go. And check this out. As you go, I realized with my template.
Oh, it's like butter.
It's like butter. It goes right through, and the template, I could actually run it right along the paper, and it totally went.
Is it sharp or more just hot?
Oh, it's not hot enough. I accidentally turned it off with my finger.
It was steaming for a second.
It was steaming, and it heats up really fast. So you want to be careful with this with littles, but look at how quick that goes through.
Is it sharp at all?
It's not sharp at all.
It's just the heat.
It's just the heat, and it melts the foam, and then look at, you don't have all those little balls and all that little, because it melts it back into itself.
Perfect edge.
And it gives you, I can just follow that along.
This is so satisfying.
It is so satisfying. Yeah. Like I was having so much fun doing these. It just, look at how fast that goes.
Oh my goodness.
Once it heats up.
This is, it's kind of mesmerizing.
It is. You could go all day.
Yeah.
And I did put my little thing down with just pins.
To hold it into place.
To hold it into place.
Okay, so then you've got your shape.
That's gonna cut it.
Yeah, what's next?
Okay, so next is, I went back and I used the same thing, and I'm going to show you on here, just so you can see.
Yeah.
So I could do like your name, and it's just going to melt.
That's how you personalized it.
Yep, that's so it looks engraved.
Uh-huh.
And then, after I've done that, now I have these ready here, set up, ready to go.
Uh-huh.
I go back over with a marker. Now there's something magic, and I don't know because I'm not a chemist. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, when you use a Sharpie marker, and then you use the spray paint that we're going to use, the Sharpie marker kind of melts into it a little bit too.
I'm no chemist, but something happens.
I don't know, there's a chemical reaction. So I just go over wherever I want there to be, like, to really, you know, show through.
Yeah, okay.
Add the Sharpie marker.
Okay,
super
so
fast.
this is step 2, Sharpie marker in the engraved grooves.
Right.
And then we paint it?
And now we're going to paint it.
Okay.
And we were going to do this outside, but it's super windy, so everybody just kind of wished you were wearing foam masks, but we're going to spray paint just a titch.
Yeah.
Just enough to show you. Here's the key with the spray paint. Mm-hmm. Layers.
Okay.
So if you want to give depth to something, I mean, you can just spray it with one coat of one color.
Because paint has come far. There is some texture built into certain varieties.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to give you like this variegated kind of stone look.
Which is what you want.
So we use 3.
Okay.
So I'm using a light gray, and it can just be 3 colors of gray, well, 2 grays and a black.
So you've got a light gray chalkboard.
I've got a light gray, I don't want to do that on my thing. I brought this.
Oh, here she comes.
Here we go, cardboard.
Yep.
Which is actually the best, because it just, instead of plastic, because it absorbs. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna go over it. And as I do that, notice how it starts to kind of eat away at the foam.
Yeah, it makes it look worn.
See, it's starting to like eat away. And the more paint you put on it, the more worn that spot will look. So you can kind of go over the areas and make it more worn.
And do you let it dry in between coats?
I did.
Okay.
I let it dry, and then you're gonna come back over, and I have, so this one right here looks like that's the same as this one. So now I'm gonna add another layer to it.
So this is the gray dried.
Right, this is the gray dried. And now we're gonna come back, and I've got a little bit of kind of this brown color.
So staying in those like moody, neutral, muddy tones.
See, and now I'm kind of go far away.
Just barely.
So I'm just giving it kind of a little.
To hit it? You're an artist at work. You're a freestyle artist.
It's kind of, I was like, this is kind of like spray paint graffiti. Maybe this is why maybe that's why people do it, because it is so oddly satisfying.
Seems like, I mean, the legal application
version
of that,
yes.
I understand.
Then lastly, I'm gonna go over, oh, we don't have a black on there.
But you'd hit it with some black?
We're gonna hit it with just, like, I'm gonna stand really far away from it when I'm spraying it.
And just barely.
Because I just want it to kind of dust it so that it looks kind of moldy.
Okay, all right, that's the small version. Similar steps to the big guy, but you did start with a different base material.
So different base material. I used insulation foam. You can get this from any hardware store. It's big sheets.
Yes.
It's like an 8x4.
Yes.
Like 25 bucks for this. And you got a lot of it, so now you could do a bunch.
Does the hot knife work on that too?
Hot knife. Let's show you.
It cuts through. I might have turned you off. Sorry.
You did. Well, it only takes a second.
I was just thinking
I'm
of melting down our
And then the other
wires.
thing that I did is, okay, we're gonna look at this.
Yeah, this is
over
so
here,
amazing.
I did do dimensions, so I stacked it. So I started with this and did my whole shape. And then for these little layers here.
Oh, you added the trim.
I just added pieces of that thinner foam. And I just glued it on.
This is so impressive, and yet as you break it down, it's like so doable.
It's super easy, and my base on this is just this stuff. And see, look again with the knife. See if we're gonna cut it.
I'm suddenly not as impressed with the Disney Haunted Mansion as I thought I was.
No, now you're like, oh, I could do that. See,
Michelle could do that.
See how it kind of like gives it that stone look if you just get in there and start hacking away at it.
Through there,
and it makes it look like stone.
Okay, is your yard turning into a cemetery now?
It probably is, because I've got a bunch more of this foam, and it is oddly satisfying.
Got her smoking wand. It's just gonna let her do whatever she wants to do.
It is super fun. Obviously, keep this away from your kiddos.
Yeah,
it's very, very hot.
Fast.
But it heats up fast and it cools down fast.
You're so impressive and so talented, and thank you for inspiring
go to town
us.
and make yourself a graveyard.
We will. How can we see up close details?
Up close details on my Instagram, Michelle's Design Life, and on my website, michellesdesignlife.com. The website has step-by-step
so fun
tutorial
in all the sizes. Thank you so much. Well done.